Okie dokie. I have no idea what's going on. This is gonna be real interesting. Um, Okie dokie. Let's see if I can get this on YouTube. Okay. Hi, question mark. Okie dokie. I'm just gonna quickly see whether or not I can put out links of this on the Twitter. This is really awkward. I did not think this would be so awkward. I mean, hopefully I've got enough. My blood alcohol level is high enough that I won't be able to drive. So maybe that'll help with me being confident enough to stream on YouTube when I'm not playing any games or anything. Um, uh, okie dokie. Nervous. Okay. Hi. Uh, ugh, this is weird. This is weird. Um, okie dokie. I'm gonna put this link out on Twitter. Hello. Nothing is working. So hi? Question mark. And let's put that out there. Okie dokie. Hi guys. This is really awkward. So I guess I'm doing a version of commentary then, because that is pretty much the only options I've had. I haven't done a commentary in ages, so this is a good way of me getting through that at the very least, even if I am not playing games or on Twitch or doing any of the things that I wanted to do today. But there we go. I don't know if anyone's watching. Let me know if audio is okay, all that jazz. I don't know. This is a new experience for me on top of a continuous rubbishness that has been my trying to stream on Twitch. So let me know how audio is working, visuals working, all that jazz. In the meantime, I'm going to get up my streams and look at my comments. I do my first ever live commentary, I believe. This is terrifying. Hi, hello everyone. Hello Christian. Hello. Hi. First live YouTube views. Weird. Hello. Hello. Audio's fine. Thank you. Tape 621. Yay. Okie dokie. So I'm gonna switch to YouTube Studio Original because that's all I've got going for me. And let's see how long since I last did a commentary. Let's scroll back through the videos. I think it's been a while. I mean, I'm already back to March, just scrolling through. I'm pretty sure I did Oblivion Murders. Let me have a couple of YouTube videos up and see where we're at on the commentaries because it's been a while. Hello, Anthony Butler. Hello, welcome. Hello, everyone. Thank you for turning it up. So for anyone who doesn't know, I have been trying to stream on Twitch for the last like 2 hours. I think I set a timer. One sec. Let's see how. So I set a 2 hour timer, and we're an hour and a quarter into my 2 hour timer, and that was after several attempts. So basically, my laptop, there is something wrong. I don't know what. I have tried pretty much everything I can think of. I've tried switching the games, I've tried switching from Steam, it might be a problem with OBS, it might be a problem with Twitch, it might be a problem with the games I've been trying, but everything I've tried, and I've tried switching to DOSBox level games in order to try and get the processing power as low as possible. I've tried switching from Skyrim to Oblivion, so I'm using CD ports rather than Steam. I have tried everything, and nothing is working. But I really want to connect with you guys. I really want to just kind of be like, hi, I miss you, and I've been ignoring you guys the whole summer. So basically, this is a combination live commentary and basic chatsies. So yeah, I'm already back to January. It's been that long since I've done a commentary. I am ashamed. I'm going back to 500 comment, 500 subscribers, and seeing how I'm doing. So yeah, basically this afternoon has been a terrible session at streaming. But I have a glass of wine, I have good company from you guys, and I'm going to stream. I'm going to reset my timer for 2 hours. In fact, I'm gonna cut it down a little bit. I'm gonna put it at 1.5 hours, um, and see how I go with it. Because I want to chat to you guys. I want to catch up, but I also don't want to stay up until ridiculous in the morning. So there we go. Basically, I want to reconnect with you guys. A combination of Trisha starting the Naked Truths up again. I did a Twitch stream playing Skyrim last Sunday, and it was really fun. And ever since then, I've been like, yeah, I want to play more Skyrim and like chat and play Skyrim, and it's gonna be really fun. I'm going to Canada in less than 2 weeks, and I just wanted to like reconnect with you guys and have fun and do all that stuff. I'm really into Halloween, and my energy's coming back after the summer blur. So to conclude, I'm streaming on YouTube. I mean, that should be pretty self-explanatory, but here I am. So, oh my gosh, I'm going back to January, and apparently I haven't answered comments from January. I don't know how true this is. Maybe I just can't find my videos, but apparently I haven't done commentary in ages. This is appalling. I am so sorry, you guys. You are hit so. I mean, it's ridiculous. I'm going back to the daily vlogs from the beginning of the year when I was like, hey, I'm going to give daily vlogs a go, and I'm just failing. Why are you going to Canada? Hi, I'm going to Canada because I have a friend in Canada. I don't know if you guys know her. Her name is Tor. She has a YouTube channel. Please check her out. If you go to my channel, she's in the channels I work with section. So for anyone who doesn't know, hello, Chris Ajatas. I don't know if that's pronouncing your name right. I'm sorry. So for anyone who doesn't know, the reason why I have any subscribers at all is because of SourceFed and Franco Movie Club from years ago. This is 2013, I think, probably early 2012. Philip DeFranco and SourceFed did movie clubs, and I, along with many other people from around the world, submitted video responses to that, reviewing the movie that they picked and giving our thoughts, and then they did like a clip show. And from that, those of us who submitted videos, a couple of people decided to get together and start our own movie club, and then that fell through, and then we had another movie club, and then we just had friends. Yay! Hello, Chris. Oh, we're mod buddies. Are we Trisha mod buddies? I assume we're Trisha mod buddies. Hello, Vito. Hello, welcome, everybody. Oh, I wasn't expecting anyone to turn up. This is why I've been avoiding doing live videos on YouTube for ages. Because like no one will show up. I won't have anyone to talk to. It'll just be me talking to myself. Yeah, so we started off doing like hangouts and stuff with movie clubbers, and then we just became friends. And then a couple of us decided to be like, hey, let's go to America and meet up at VidCon and meet all the SourceFed people, the people who inspired us to make videos. And we all went to VidCon 2014, 4 years ago. That's madness. That is madness. So that was 4 years ago. That's wow. And that was my first time traveling internationally on my own. I went all the way to America. We did VidCon. I met Trisha. I met SourceFed. It was a really good time. It was a really like life-changing experience for me to like know that traveling on my own is not that big of a deal. I just booked the flights and I just went. And it was amazing. I had a really good time. And from that friendship group, I met Tor in person, and I was like, "You're as amazing as you are in 2D. That's madness." And ever since then, we've been friends. We've done hangouts, we've done chats. I've run 2 sessions with her and some of her Canadian friends for D&D, which was really fun, and I want to do it again, but it's a real challenge to do the technological stuff and that stuff. But hopefully we will play some more D&D. And I've been saying for years, like, Canada and America do Halloween like I've always wanted to do Halloween. So I've always loved I love dressing up, I love chocolate, and I love I love spooky stories and like telling stories. I love telling stories. It's one of the reasons why I love D&D. It's that concept of mythology, and I've always loved that. I've always loved fairy tales. I've always loved mythology, and I've always loved the concept of Halloween because of that storytelling aspect. And Halloween is just done so much better in Canada. Like, I'm kind of mentioned offhand to my parents, like, will you be doing anything Halloween while I'm in Canada? While I'm doing Halloween in Canada? And they're like, no, no, we really want to just lock the door and turn off the lights, and we won't let anyone in. And I'm like, I get it. I do. I was saying to my colleague today, in fact, one of my colleagues who was like, oh, I don't like going out to dinner because everyone's just on their phones all the time and just don't they talk to each other? And like, I am an intermediate generation. I am from the generation that if the power were to die right now and we were to have no electricity, we're going to have like a Oxfordshire-wide blackout. If we were going to have a complete another blackout, I could light a candle, pick up a book, and easily get through a week internet free. Now, I know my sisters, if they were to watch this right now, would be like, no, you wouldn't. But I would. I'd probably be a little bit miserable, but I could survive internet free. I could read a book, I could do some embroidery, I could dance around the kitchen listening to my whatever tape recorder. But I'm also from a generation when I could sit in bed and play Skyrim for like a week or watch anime for 48 hours without stopping and then hear Japanese for 2 days. Like I'm an intermediate generation when it comes to those sort of things. So like a lot of people think I'm quite old fashioned and I make lots of jokes about being technologically illiterate, but here I am streaming on YouTube. Hey, look how cool and stuff I am. Hey. So I do get when it comes to Halloween, I get my parents' generation from the background of Englishnessness, that like the village that I've grown up in and the area of Oxfordshire that I've grown up in, and I don't know how true this is for the whole of England, but they just don't do Halloween. It's a very Americanized holiday. It's kind of seen as a bit of a, I don't know, it's something that people do. Um, and I love the aspects of Halloween that I love, and I've been saying for years that Canada just does Halloween so well, and I love the Canadian people, and I love tour, and we've been saying for years, like, hey, can I come for Halloween? Can I come for Halloween? And we decided, I was like, hey, I haven't spent any holiday this year. How do you feel about me kind of just gate crashing you for Halloween? How does that feel? Is that okay? And she was like, yes! And I was like, yes! And so I'm going to Canada for Halloween. Tor sent me inventory of stuff that we're going to do, and I'm so excited. There's like a D&D live show, and I'm excited to see her. I haven't seen her in 4 years in person, which is insane because she's a genuine friend. I really really love her. So yeah, I'm doing Halloween in Canada. Hey, exciting. Hello, Kazuman, and I can't even pronounce your name, Doodle. Ho, who asks, you will play music? I don't know any musical instruments, but I will learn to play the piano, gosh darn it. We have a piano downstairs that I've never learned to play. My sisters have learned to play it, and I never learned to play it. And I've always wanted to kind of learn an instrument, and I never got around to it. I can play like a bastardized version of Lord of the Rings, which kind of just shows how, like, in my family, we're all kind of nerdy sort of peoples. And so, even though I never actually learned to play the piano, my sister, who is crazy smart, she wrote me a bastardized version of the main hero theme from The Lord of the Rings, which I learned to play. So it goes like do 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 do, and it's awful. And I learnt like the first couple of bars of it, and she wrote it for me, and it was so sweet of her to make like an age like 3 version of Lord of the Rings, which I loved. But yeah, so I really like. I've always wanted to kind of branch out a little bit. It'd be good to kind of push my boundaries a little bit. I've definitely been feeling kind of like kind of. Did I say Star Wars? No, not Imperials, not Stormcloaks. I meant Lord of the Rings. Did I say Skyrim? I didn't mean to say Skyrim. I meant to say Lord of the Rings. Anyway, I'm drunk. Who cares? No, I'm not drunk. I've only had 1 glass of wine, which, as I am a lightweight, I could be drunk, but I don't think I am. Which is what a drunk would say. Anyway, so my sister taught me Lord of the Rings, and I was like, I could survive. I could practice my embroidery, and I could read books, and I could learn the piano, and I think I would survive. And I know a lot of people who are my age or younger could not survive without their phones for a week, and I can happily forget my phone for a week. And be like, where is my phone? I lost it like 3 days ago. It'll turn up. Anyway, going back to my thing, Halloween in Canada, yay! And because I'm going to Canada, and Tor is amazing, by the way. If you guys are not subscribed to Tor, I keep amping her up. She actually does daily vlogging. At the beginning of this year, I was like, hey, I'll do some daily vlogging, and then I didn't. I did like, I think 3 weeks maybe of daily vlogging, and completely failed. So if you guys want to see someone who is consistent, who has adorable pets, and just like it puts in effort into her vlogging, please do check out Tor. And she's a genuine friend, someone who I genuinely consider a genuine friend. And yeah, so if you guys want to check her out, and that's why I'm going to Canada. So yeah. Hi, hello everyone, hello Chris, hello Vitro. Daily vlogging is hard, don't feel bad. I've tried daily vlogging. So I did daily vlogging, I believe, in 2000. It was either 2014, 2015, or 2015, 2016. And I got pretty far. I got into the summer. But the summer is a really hard time for me, particularly in my current job that I've had for nearly 2 years. Summer work is ridiculous. I think when I first started doing vlogging, I was in my old place where the summer wasn't so crazy, but it was at the point where you just get fatigue. YouTube fatigue is a real thing, it's particularly when you're daily vlogging. So I think I got to like June, July, and I had consistently, if not filmed every day, produced a video for every single day. And I had it like a structure. I had like um, Sunday streaming gaming Mondays, something Tuesdays, D&D Wednesdays. Like I had a different thing for every single day. I had like Naked Truth Thursdays, um, creative Saturdays or something. I had like a whole structure for the week, and I had it like planned out. But there's only so much you can do, which is why I'm trying to reconnect with you guys now, because I'm like, hey, I don't do this, so I should do it more because you guys are awesome and really nice. Whew. Daily vlogging is hard. Yes, daily vlogging is hard. And Tor has rocked it this year. Like, it's October, and I don't think she's failed. I think she's been sick once, and she's consistently, she edits, she puts things together. It's great. It's so fun. What is my stream ID? As in for Twitch, my Twitch name is Classy Librarian. Let me quickly see if I can post a link in the chat. Nope, that's the chat link to this stream. Let's not post that again because you guys are already here. Hi. Let me quickly grab that up for you. In the meantime, I will answer the other question in chat, which is the question was more for when you were talking about playing Skyrim for days, not talking. Oh, okay. So when it comes to Skyrim, I'm always torn because the thing is, people want to be the rebels, not the Empire, but kind of like, the Stormcloak's kind of racist. And the thing is, I've talked about it before in other streams. I've never completed the main plot quests for Skyrim because I am so OCD. It's kind of ridiculous. So when I play Skyrim, like properly, when I'm playing it like not for streaming, I will literally pick up everything. It is ridiculous. So link to my Twitch in the chat if you want to go subscribe or follow or whatever. If you want, you don't have to. I will try and sort it out, and I really do want to start streaming again because it's so fun. Words and stuff things. So I've never completed the main quest, so I've never technically chosen a side. Because when you have that, Skyrim is such a big world and it's so detailed, and when you're literally like, I come to this bookshelf, I pick up everything from this bookshelf. Nothing of use, I put back on this bookshelf, and then I move over to this chest of drawers and I pick up the potions and the wine and the food. But then I put back the clothes iron and the tin pot and that, and then I'll keep the cheese and I'll go over to the next one. Oh, I'm encumbered. Okay, I'll sneak around to the next oh look, there's a dresser. Oh look, a barrel. I'll take all the salt out this barrel, and then I'll put back this broom and this mop bucket that I picked up. And like when you play to that level, you never get time to do any of the like, come epic hero and save us from this evil, or save us from, make life-changing decisions. Because I spent all my time being like, how do I feel about doing this? Yeah, that's good. So yeah. So yeah, when it comes to Stormcloaks or Empire, I have decided. I never chose. No matter how many times I've restarted, I just never chose. Anyway, one of the best parts of Halloween here in Canada is the day after Halloween when all the candy goes on sale. Good point. One of the things I am slightly concerned about going to Canada is I found since America, so America, I finished my portions every single day, and I'm not a big human. I'm a pretty small human, but I was like, I'm going to America. I damn well still got this metabolism. I swear I can still eat like the teenage ferret I am, even though I went to America when I was 22, and I'm like, I've still got the metabolism of a teenager. That works out well. And I finished my portions for the full 10 days. And I ate. And I ate. And on the 10th day, everyone else went back to their relative places, and I was alone in my hotel room. And I lay in bed, and I was just like, everything hurts. I can't eat. Everything hurts. What have I done to myself? Ah. And like I just drank water. I didn't eat for the whole day. I was just like, this is a full 10 days worth of American portions that I ate, and I can't do anymore. And I think since then my metabolism has genuinely been damaged. I can't do it anymore. So the other day I took my parents. I was like, hey, I haven't treated you for a while. Do you want to get out for dinner? And I booked in a quite nice pub locally, and we went out for dinner, and I bought them the wine and bought them food. And I had this massive, amazing waffle chicken bacon burger, and it was amazing. And then the parents were like, oh, well, we kind of fancy dessert. And I was like, oh, it's my treat. Absolutely, absolutely. You guys have dessert. And then I looked at the menu, and there was something on the dessert menu called chocolate nemesis. And I was like, I'm full. I know I'm full. But it's called chocolate nemesis, and I had to check that with the waitress because of dietary reasons, for my mum, and I was like, oh, there's only two left. There's two left, and the kitchen ran out. I can't say no. I'll just have dessert, even though I don't need dessert. And then I had it, and again, it was like, why did I do this to myself? I'm an old lady now. I'm 26. I can't overeat anymore. It's bad. It's just not good. So because of those things, I'm concerned that when I go to Canada and there's Canadian-sized portions and there's all this Halloween chocolate and sweets and all this goodies and like as I said, Tour's got all this whole thing planned. I'm like, I'm gonna get like I'm not gonna be able to finish things, and I'm worried. I'm really worried. um, Christian says, Stormcloaks all the way, death to the Empire. Ragnarok the Red came all the way from old Rorikstead. I can't remember the name of the song and how it goes, but I remember finding it really sweet and singing along, and then not finding it good because I'm not a good singer. Whew. Chris says, not Chris Ware, Chris Ajantas. Sorry, I know names are not my forte. I have to read out people's names for the payslips at work, and I'm just like, I can't pronounce this. You just take your money. Says, how would you feel about reading scary stories, as in for YouTube ideas? I could do. I have an anthology of short stories, which I know includes a couple of horror stories, including The Telltale Heart. And I did use that as a reference. I did a for my A-level English, and this is going way back, but I can remember being really proud of it, and I'm still kind of proud of it. I did so one of the things you had to do was you had to take the format of texts and then create a new text but continue using the same format so you can prove that you understand how grammar and language works. So I did a version of The Telltale Heart, but instead of the story being about this like serial killer who's like, I totally didn't kill this guy, but I totally did, and I ripped out his eyeball, and then I buried him under the ground, and then the police found me, and boom, 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 boom. Instead of it being that, it was about this like little teenage girl whose autistic brother dies, and she has survivor's guilt. and it's like, I am guilty. I'm totally guilty. I killed my brother. Just convict me already. Take me away. Using exactly the same sentence structure and the same number of syllables and the same number of commas and apostrophes and the same rhythm and the same like the same onomatopoeia and kind of like the same sound and the same presentation, but telling a very different story. And I can remember being really proud of that work of it. And somewhere in one of those anthologies there's a couple of horror stories. I also know that I have somewhere, I was talking about in a recent video about going through my old poetry anthology, and there's a couple of like creepy ones in there. I can remember there's one about I can't remember what the name of the poet was, but it's a modern female poet that we had to study for GCSE, where she's like, I have a head under my bed, and like it's like about her murdering someone and like having this dude's corpse in her bed, and like it's all about like blood in the sheets and metaphor, and it's kind of creepy. So yeah, if you guys are interested in that, I wouldn't mind doing that. I did do one of my least viewed YouTube series when I was doing daily blogging. One of my YouTube series was Jenny Loves Children's Books, and I did like a whole series on this, and it was video after video after video of me talking about children's books and talking about poetry and Cinderella copies and all this stuff, and almost none of you watched it. All of you hated it. I mean, I don't think any of you hated it, but just the lack of interest was phenomenal. So I figured people didn't want to actually hear me talking about books, but if you guys want me to talk about horror books, I can do it as a pre-Halloween thing, maybe. Put it in the comments, let me know. I almost forgot, since you're going to BC, are you going to try Namako bars? Torch, you know exactly what I'm talking about if you ask her. Sure, sure. I have been given a full inventory. It's a pretty stocked plan so far. Like we're doing things like haunted train rides, and we're going to live D&D, and we're doing loads of stuff. So basically, we've got our work cut out for us. But I'm we'll see. Again, if my metabolism can cope and my alcohol tolerance can cope, we shall see. Have you ever taken the Myers-Briggs type indicator? You're the second person recently to ask me this. So oddly enough, my new housemate, my new housemate, who I've only known her a couple of months, and it was kind of a bit of an impromptu moving in. It was one of those situations where she was like, "You know me, I know you, we kind of get on, and I'm looking for a house. Would you like to step out?" Type situation. I was like, "Oh, this seems like almost too good an opportunity not to give it a go." And she asked me whether or not I'd taken a Myers-Briggs test. Um, so that's interesting. Maybe I really should crack on with that. I even wrote it down because when she mentioned it, we were at a work party and I was quite tipsy, just not as tipsy as she was. But yeah, that's interesting that you mentioned that. Lol, with a name like that, you should almost have to sign a waiver. A name like what? What name are we referring to? Or referring to something I've said, or referring to me? Because I do try and keep my name off the internet if possible. Not for anything devious, mostly just because I've got quite an unusual surname and I don't really want you guys following me on Facebook. Anything you guys want to add in the comments before I break down into this live commentary? Because I've been neglecting you guys for apparently the whole freaking year, and I'm sorry. Why is the wine always gone? Also, as a side note, if any of you guys are listening, should I open a new bottle of red wine? Or should I open my slightly nefariously gamed plum wine, which I'm not looking forward to, but it was free? So, which one do you reckon I should go for? Because I'm in the mood to be badly influenced. Talking about chocolate nemesis, yeah, it was so good. It was so good. Yeah, it's such a it was like a chocolate souffle. It was like slightly warm and kind of spongy and gooey and just very high intensity chocolate. It was very cocoa-y, quite intensive. Highly recommend it. Stick with red wine. We have one vote for red wine. That's good. Okie dokie. Plum wine and red wine don't mix well. Thank you. Good advice. Okay, that's two. Well, that's kind of two votes, but it's both from the same person for red wine. So let me. So this was a gift from my parents when they went to France. It is a French wine. It's an organic French wine, and it's in the label is in French, just in case you guys were wondering. Le trésor serré, non mention complète, 21, de respiration, d'application anyway, who cares? It's wine. So I'm gonna slowly open this kind of off screen because I don't know what YouTube policy is on drinking. I know Twitch has a, I'm totally drinking grape juice policy, but I don't know what YouTube's policy is, and I haven't read up on it, and I'm not going to. But there we go. I'm drinking wine in bed on my own, I'm basically Bridget Jones right now, except under the age of 30. So there we go. But I've been meaning to crack into some wine for a while, and as I don't know whether or not I mentioned it in this stream. I did mention it in the Twitch stream. So this is a surprise day off tomorrow. At some point in recent history, I must have said to a colleague, "Oh, that's fine. If you want to switch shifts, that's absolutely fine. I don't mind, because I don't have much of a life. As long as you don't mess with my Wednesdays because of D&D or my weekends, that's absolutely fine." See, I'm talented. I don't know whether or not I should. I took the cork out. I've learned to open wine more efficiently in the last couple of years. That's a proper glug noise. That's quite alarming. Okay, let's go with that for now. Oh, that's very cherry, actually. Words and stuffs and things. So I switched shifts with a colleague, but forgot about it. So I looked at the rota today, and I was like, "Huh, I usually work Sundays. If I work Saturdays, I work Sundays. I'm off tomorrow. I'm not going to complain. I'm off tomorrow. I can drink wine and hang out with you lovely dudes." I think it's like the millennial version of star signs. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Mars-Brigg being the millennial version of star signs. I mean, that kind of does make sense. From what I can tell, like it's like your personality type, but science. For science. Ooh, poke all the parts of my face. Yeah, so I can see how that could work. I haven't looked at it, but I have been recommended to take it. I've got the feeling I would probably come out on the I don't know. I don't know what parts of my personality it would check off, but probably the low self-esteem parts, because that's part of my entire existence. Oh, I definitely. It's kind of woody. It's nice. Oh, that's very sweet. Anywho, enough about wine. I am not a sommelier. I am not educated in wine. I do not know which is good wine or bad wine, but I do know this tastes pretty nice and it's very fruity and it's organic and French, so it could be worse. And it's my own wine, so I'm not stealing any store from anyone else. So I don't have to feel guilty if I finish half the bottle and then leave the rest in the fridge. Do you listen to podcasts? If so, which ones do you listen to? I'm not really a podcast person. I do mean to get into podcasts, but I've kind of joked in the past about my technological literacy. And when it comes to podcasts, that's just a part of technology I never really got into. I did mean to set up myself some sort of I can't remember what the name of the thing is when like free radio or whatever. The thing is, when I'm on my computer, I tend to watch YouTube. I can put on, I do like listening in the background to things like streaming, gaming streaming. I'll just put on in the background while I'm doing other things, or I'm watching YouTube, or I'm watching specific series. I find with things like Critical Role, part of the reason why I haven't caught up on the latest series of Critical Role is because that for me involves focus. I don't really like putting it on the background because I want to be able to like sit and visualize and enjoy it and actually kind of see the scenes as they play out in my brain. And in order to fully focus, I can't really put it on in the background. And when it comes to, I've only just started driving, so now I've gone back to listening to radio. But when I was on the buses and stuff, when I was traveling previously, it would either be listening to music, where I could kind of zone out because I knew the music well. I knew what was coming up next and kind of tone my music to what I was reading. If I was on the buses, I would I'd be reading what I was wanting to read, and then I'd be able to like play albums which I knew would sync up well with the books I was reading. And obviously you can't. I find it difficult to listen to dialogue while reading. So I found that a bit difficult. And then when I was cycling, in equivalent to biking, when I was cycling equivalent to taking the bus, I found that music helped keep pace and keep the energy up, rather than if I was listening to a podcast. I feel like that would mess with my natural like physical rhythm, because obviously cycling is more physical. So I never really got into podcasts. Now that I'm driving rather than cycling or busing, I might get into podcasts, but as a nervous driver, I find it useful at the moment to either listen to silence or listen to music that I know, so I can fully focus on the road because I'm a nervous driver. But obviously not driving in the next 48 hours for obvious reasons. Well, the label is French, so for all we know, it's grape juice. I will save the taste of it and probably the colour of my tongue. This is very likely alcoholic. So we'll see how I fare in the morning, and maybe I'll do a secondary podcast tomorrow morning where I'm like, oh, everything hurts. Anywho, but in case YouTube does censor alcohol consumption on YouTube, it's grape juice. Also, I am over the age of 21 and over the age of 18, so I'm legal in the UK and in America, and I think most other countries to drink alcohol. So, you know, I'm not breaking any laws, I'm a happy bunny. Yes, Christian, you hit it right on the nose. This is exactly the reason for the stream, is so I don't have to drink alone on a Saturday night. No, to be honest, I very rarely drink. I'm not a big drinker. The only times when I do drink is when I am off the next day, and that means fully off the next day. And a lot of the times I just can't be bothered. And today I don't know. It's a surprise day off, so I thought I might as well celebrate. And I also, as I said before, and I've said in if you go to my Twitch channel, which I've linked in the chat, if you go to that channel, you will see I think it got up to 6 attempts to try and get that stream running. And that was just going to be, hey, I'll play some Skyrim while I finish my current glass of wine. And as it slowly got more and more into the this attempt failed, and this attempt failed, and this attempt failed, and look, I've got a bag of ice to try and stop my laptop from exploding. It got to the point where I was like, you know what, I'm just going to drink because I can, and because it's legal, and because I kind of want to have some fun. And as I was saying in those streams, part of the reason for me going to stream was to be like, yay, I want to play Skyrim, it's gonna be fun. But also, like, I feel like I've neglected you guys. I finally got to 500 subscribers on YouTube. I finally got to able to the point where people could subscribe on Twitch. And then the summer happened, and I disappeared. And I haven't done any commentaries. I haven't done any videos. I've done almost nothing for you guys, and I feel like I owe you guys because honestly, between D&D and YouTube, in the last 7 years, those two things have been probably the biggest influence on my life. And I'd say mostly for the better. And with any form of social media and any form of any sort of recreation, there can be downsides. But I will say that probably YouTube and the interaction I've had with YouTube and Twitch accordingly, and D&D has been an improvement on my life. Probably maybe not as influential, but I'd say probably equally as influential as my paid employment. I'm not paid for YouTube. I get no money for YouTube at all. And any chance I had of getting paid for YouTube was cut when they changed the subscription policy last year. So I'm never going to get paid for YouTube. It's not going to happen. The reason why I'm here is to interact with the friends I've made and to kind of just give you guys a fun time and give me a fun time. And maybe it's completely Eurocentric, but you know, if you guys are having fun and I'm having fun, who gives up monkeys? And when it comes to Twitch, again, it's the only time I get to play games because as much fun as it is to play games, I'm like, oh well, I could do other things. I could watch the next series of Supernatural, and then I'm like, oh, but I could play Skyrim, and then I play Skyrim and I chat to you guys. It's sort of fun. So there we go. Uh, you went to a vineyard once with family and was offered a glass of the house iced wine. I tried to sip and said out loud, "Yeah, it's okay, but it would be better if it was mixed with some Coke first." You mix white wine with Coke? Eesh. Like I've done red wine and lemonade. That was an old mixer I used to do. So that's a good way of kind of mellowing out the red wine taste. It kind of tastes a bit like Ribena. Um, so I used to do that when I was just first starting to drink, or like when I was a student and I was trying to hide the fact that I wasn't drinking as much as my cohorts. My cohorts would be like, "Yeah, down the second bottle of wine," and I'd be like, "Yes, that's what I'm doing." And you will notice. One second, let me do that again. Good drinking. Yeah, I had a lot of techniques for hiding the fact that I wasn't drinking in university or not drinking as much as other people. I do things like rum and coke, but with like this much rum and then like loads of coke. I do red wine with lemonade. I do gin and tonic with just tonic. So there are ways around that. Yeah. So going back to the chat. Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say that in a vineyard. I feel like at that point you do the, "Oh yes, I'm trying this wine," and then you do the like you get the spit jar thing. I've done that. I did a wine tasting where it was okay. So this was at my previous place, and we did a wine tasting. And I was on shift, and so were all of my other colleagues, and I was the only one who was doing the sip and spit because I was like, I'm a professional. I will not drink, and everyone else was sipping and swallowing. And so for the rest of the shift, I then had to pick up with all these colleagues who were like having a great time because they were like, "Yeah, who cares?" And I'm like, "I'm your boss. I can't. Why am I being professional? Why? Why did I do this to myself? Because I'm a lightweight, and also because if something had happened, I would have wanted to be the responsible adult." Um, Nearly got yourself thrown out for that. Well, I can see why. Like vineyards, like from my limited experience with vineyard professionals, sommeliers, I can't remember what the name is for beer professionals. Um, if in doubt, stay quiet and go, mm. Anyway, um, your hair looks really nice right now, the length it is right now. Yeah, thank you. It's just about long enough that, one second, let me take off my headphones. So it's getting there. Ooh, I can't hear a thing now. There we go. It's now long enough that I can. That was effective. Let's do the hair first. I don't know whether or not this is interrupting my microphone at all. I'll just speak a bit louder. Ooh, there we go. Um, It's just about long enough now that I can do little pigtails, which I really like. I like being able to do that, and little plaits if I'm very careful. I am still growing it, and I do intend to keep growing it. I think I will grow it out to full length again, especially as going back through my old videos. Like I look at the videos with really long hair, and I'm just like, oh, I miss long hair. I miss it so much. I don't miss how much I used to spend on conditioner. I cut my last time I cut my hair really short. I was 12. So when I was 12 to when I was 26, I grew it, and it only got down to about here. So given that it's grown like this much in the last 6 months, it should take less time to grow than it did the first time around. But either way, I'm excited. I'm excited to see as it grows and whether or not it's healthier and I can look after it better. But thank you for the compliment nonetheless. What other games do you play? Are there any multiplayer games that we could join you in? So the only multiplayer games that I play are mostly ones with the Project Chronicle guys. So I play Golf with Friends, which I might stream at some point. I have played Ostrich Simulator, I think. I can't really remember how it went. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning and I was tired and I was like, why are we playing ostriches? I don't get it. What are we doing with eggs? Golf with friends is really fun. It's a real challenge. I'm not good at golf. I'm not good at golf in digital formats. I'm not good at golf IRL. But there we go. Uh, Don't Starve. I played a lot. With the Project Chroniclers, often we play a single player game, but then with the single player game structure, we stream it, so we make decisions collaboratively. So the games that we played that with are Long Live the Queen and Science Girls, where one person was technically running the game, but then we'd all be like, "Ooh, let's make a decision together." We also played Oregon Trail, but with zombies, which was really fun. And the only MMORPG I've ever played, which was, it was interesting because I was playing it on my own. I was playing it with my sister to kind of guide me through. And then I streamed it one time, and immediately someone was like, "Hey, I'll come join you," and then joined me in game while I was live, and I'm like, "Oh, this is weird. I don't understand. How are you here? You were in my stream a minute ago." Which I found like really nice person. Like they were a high level player who got through the fact that I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. What are keys? Um, but I also feel like maybe that one's not one for me. MMORPGs, I feel like being able to control the space where people interact with me might be a little bit better if I'm streaming it live. I don't know, like interacting with people in a social media in MMORPGs when you're not streaming is a different experience to when you're interacting with them and also being live. So I don't know. I'm not a professional. If any of you guys were wondering, not a professional. You like Cabernet Sauvignon, but apparently that's the bottom shelf wine. Hey, the thing is, like the wine you like. Like, I have a friend who's a sommelier, and she says that the whole point of wine, the reason why she really enjoys wine, is because it's a decadence. It's something that is entirely unnecessary to support life and happy existence. Like, people need food, they need water, they need shelter. They don't need wine. So why not just enjoy it? You know? It's there. It makes you happy sometimes as long as you're drinking it sensibly, adults. Um, so just enjoy it. Like, who's to judge someone else for something else they consume as long as they're not hurting others or hurting themselves in a significant manner. Okie dokie. So I think I've run myself mostly dry on comments, so keep commenting. But in the meantime, we're going to do this comment commentary because I promised you guys an hour and a half of stream, and we're 42 minutes into an hour and a half. So I'm going to move on to some commentaries. Oh gosh, we're getting political. Oh geez. Okay, what's my opinion on Brexit? I am not going to share my thoughts on Brexit on the internet. Not because I don't have opinions, but because I feel like in order to give out my opinions in a public forum, I need to be more informed than I am. And I have opinions, and I have opinions that are informed, but they're not informed in a fair manner, not as good as I would like to be if I was spurting them out in a public forum. When it comes to my family, like me, my sisters, and my parents, we don't talk about political views. We don't ask who we're voting for. We don't ask why we're voting for certain things. Now, we can probably perceive through roundabout conversation exactly who we're voting for in any circumstances. And we're all from the same background and we all know who we're voting for. So if we were to sit around the table and be like, "Are you voting?" and be like, "Yeah, I'm voting." And that's the end of the conversation. And if we were to pry a little bit, we could work out. I know who my sisters vote for. I know who I vote for. I suspect I know who my parents vote for every single time. But we don't discuss it because the confidentiality is part of what makes the voting system so powerful. It's the fact that you can vote for what you believe. I'm from again the conversation I was having earlier. I am an intermediate human. I am somewhere between very traditional and very modern, and I can't define who I am from one voting choice. Um, I I can't. I'm not going to talk about that on the internet. That is one that I think if that were to come as a naked truth topic, I don't know if I'd be able to discuss it. That's an interesting psychological dilemma, actually, because I'm very for the freedom to privacy when it comes to voting rights. Just from, as I said, me and my sisters, we don't discuss it. We know, but we don't discuss it. I think, yeah, I think the only fair way around this is to plead the fifth, Your Honour. I apologise, but that's one of the few things that I don't discuss because I don't want to incite implications into my voting choices because, frankly, every person's business is their own. I'm sorry if that, don't hate me, don't hate me, don't hate me. But yeah, I think that's the only fair way around it. Okie dokie. So I'm gonna carry on with this live commentary. What is this madness? I've never done a live commentary. We'll see how far we can get before I completely run out of energy. So I'm going all the way back. The earliest video I'm going to is, well, screw it. Let's go back to the beginning of the year. Let's go all the way back. These are going to be quite jumbled, I suspect, because I'm opening all the tabs in the wrong order. Unless any of these have comments on them. I feel like I've done a commentary since the Last Jedi reviews. I feel like I have. Let's have a look. Oh, yes, it looks like I have done replies. Yes, I have. Okay. So I have done some of these ones. So that's a good start. So I found where the endpoint is. But I just need to work out which the endpoint. Hi. Well, if you guys have any questions, any comments, anything you want me to talk about other than Brexit, I'm more than happy to chit chat. Because that's what I'm here for. And I promise you guys at least another 43 minutes and 46 seconds. So I'm more than happy to do that for you guys because I can. And because I'm here, and because I need to sober up before I go to sleep. And I've just opened another bottle of wine, so I've got, it's a bit of a challenge to get ahead of time. There we go. Okie dokie. Looks like we found the end of the list. So, 500 subscribers, which was posted, let's have a look at the date, January 23rd. Ye gods. So I haven't earned, you guys, honestly, 500 subscribers plus. Currently, let's have a look. How many have I gained since then? This is live, guys. This is live. Loading. I've earned nearly 40 more of you since then. I'm sorry, I don't deserve you guys. You guys are amazing. So Torsi, Tiny Teddy, Dr. Fu Manchu, It's Mentanos, Big Virgo Tube, Technically Colourful, LG Hegarty, Eric Dye, Tours Time, and Raymond Smith all wish me well. Good luck. If you keep it up, you'll have 13,000 subscribers in about 100 years. Yeah, that sounds about right from LA Hegarty. I pronounced your name correctly before, and apparently I can't do it today. I blame the wine. It's Lil Osmentanos. I feel like, again, I pronounced that right in the verse. Says, congratulations, we should celebrate introvert party at my place. And you know what they say about introvert parties. Ain't no party in introvert party because introvert party never starts. That is the best. I'm putting a heart next to that. A very, very belated heart. How many months? 10 months belated on that. Whoops. Dr. Fu Manchu says, woohoo! Congratulations, 500 subs. Woohoo! Thank you for keeping us entertained with goofy videos and awesome vlogs. And you've been you, who is awesome. Aw, you make me blush if I wasn't already wine blushed. Let's go back to live chat in case anyone. Nope, we're still at Brexit. And 4 of you are watching. Wow, I put you guys off when I started looking at comments. My bad. Okie dokie. On to the next video. D&D dance, and dang, I was hoping for more to do more today. It's always funny when you look back at old movie titles and old video titles. It's always interesting. Red Sky Blackbird says, but my life needs spoilers. All the spoilers. Tell us about everything. Sad face. I can't. I think that was about D&D, and I can't tell you because technically the Canadian game is still part of the world that I'm just wrapping up with the home game. The home game, they are in the final boss room. I don't know if any of them are watching. I doubt they are because it's nearly 12. It's 11:30, so they may be watching. The home game is in the bathroom, and I again, just in case they do watch this. In fact, I need to go onto my Discord and delete some comments because Twitch has been kaputted for the day. In case they watch this, I can't reveal anything. But needless to say, they are nearly at the end of the campaign. They only have a couple more things to do, and then we're going to do maybe a Q&A session to be like, hey guys, this is how my brain has worked. This is all the stuff that I've been hoarding in my mind. Because for those of you who don't really know how I play games, I let's see, I'm just checking in on all my friends. My friends, yay, they're doing stuff on Discord. In fact, I'm going to post the link to this video in Discord in case anyone want to come by and say hi as well, because, you know, that'll be nice. If I can find it. So I can't talk about it because I feel really bad if I spoiled them at this point, especially as we're going to do, I think, so we're pitching for the next block. So the way our D&D club works is individual DMs pitch and then you vote to be part of their games. And once you are part of those games, you're there for a couple of months and then the voting system rotates. So they've been in my game for 3 blocks. That's 3 lots of voting to be like, hey, can we be in your campaign? I'm like, it's really lovely. So we pitch for the next block, and the next block is going to be a roundhouse robin. So we're all going to have a little go. Like, a lot of my players they've never DM'd before and they want to give it a go, which I'm genuinely excited about it, particularly the ones who are more nervous about RP. So yeah. Just typing things because I'm busy and important. So I can't talk about that, you know, just in case they do happen to watch this. But I'm really excited to see some of the new players come into DMing, possibly. That'll be exciting. And if that happens, that'd be good. And then we're also going to do, hopefully, a wrap-up session for my campaign so they can tick my brain over for my secrets and all of my, well, I was totally actually making that up on the spot and there was no planning whatsoever, but I'm glad you had fun. And also maybe a battle royale. I'm thinking maybe like a level 10, 15 battle royale, because basically all I have to do is sit back and let them murder each other, which I think would be fun. Yeah, so I can't talk about D&D, unfortunately, so no spoilers. Tor says she loves the Canadian game. I feel like learning secrets. Can't wait to play. And I think we haven't played since that, and that was 8 months ago, and I am sorry. Does it mean we to Master Jenny? Ooh. Says KSJ Hawker 94 says, does that mean we need to start calling you Master Jenny? Winky face. I do have a Dungeon Mistress t-shirt, which I really love, but I feel uncomfortable wearing. I wore it to work once. Like, obviously, I wear work clothes when I'm at work, but I wore it like when I came in for my start of day cup of tea before I got changed to my work clothes. And I just felt really awkward. Like, there was a lot of inappropriate jokes, and I was just like, yeah, you guys, like, it doesn't mean anything uncomfortable. Like, it just means I like playing board games, and that's the title. But yes, if you want to call me master or mistress, then actually no, please don't. Now I've said it out loud. I'm like, no, that's creepy. David In says, hee hee, you were so adorable, lol, from 8 months ago. So thank you for saying I'm adorable 8 months ago. I don't know if I'm still adorable, but thank you for the thought. And Adam Rowe says, I hope you and your players have a great time with your upcoming game. I make D&D content for my channel as well, and you certainly seem like a talented dancer. Aw, thank you. I would blush again if it wasn't for the pinkness from the wine. But there are some things you just need to do for yourself. So, yeah. Thank you. I do keep meaning to post some dance videos. I am very belated on the dance videos. So maybe I'll do something. The trouble is, like, a lot of the times, when I'm having a sad day or a bad day or a happy day, and I want to find a corner and have a dance, a lot of that kind of movement and kind of the chemical reaction that happens in my brain that's like, I'm gonna dance and be free and wild, is very much triggered by the music I'm listening to, and then trying to find a substitute for that music to post on YouTube, or risking a copy strike in order to put that music that I was listening to on YouTube. Um, becomes a lot of effort worth. Um, and for me, a lot of the times, again, I've talked about this in my past. My sisters find when I dance to be a very intimate expression of myself. And so they find it, of the videos I do, like naked truths aren't as uncomfortable for them as my dance videos, because dance videos are a very intimate part of me. So trying to put that on the internet is a bit of a challenge. What am I currently reading? I'm currently reading several books. I'm currently reading the prequel anthology to Order of the Stick, which is a webcomic series, which is a D&D thing. If you're into D&D, particularly the early editions, 100% check out Order and Stick. It's great. It's Stickman comic book web art genius. I'm also reading Pride and Prejudice. I'm also reading Terry Pratchett's Soul Music. And I've still got a few more children's books that I'm working my way through. The pile is so short now, it's so lovely. I'm nearly through it, which is great because I'm moving out in like 3 weeks. So once that's gone, that's gone. And then I've got a couple of books that have been loaned to me that I need to read from colleagues and whatnot. I need to read and get back to them. And then I've got my bookshelf out on my landing, which I'm going to start on. So yeah, currently Pride and Prejudice, Terry Pratchett's Soul Music, and Order of the Stick. So that's really good. And obviously there's a couple of other things I just keep up with in passing. But yeah, those are my current books that I'm reading. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question. Moving on to To Make Another Happy with Books, which was published on January 21st. Raymond Smith said the podcast Reading Glasses did an episode about gifting books to importance to finding the right person for the book, making sure the person wants the book at all, and realizing that just because you don't/do like a book, not everyone will feel the same way. Sounds like you nailed it. Well, again, I don't know. I haven't had any feedback from that colleague about whether or not she liked those books. She did loan me a book as a comparison, which is one of the books that I do need to read. And that was months ago that she loaned me that book. Which it hasn't been high on my list because I've been really, really trying to focus on getting through my backlog of books in order to get my stock cleared so that I can, for the primary reason of just making my life more open and clearing space. Because whenever I organize myself, or I tidy my room, or I remove stuff from my life, it feels tidier, it feels nicer. So I've been mostly focusing on the books that I need to get rid of, but I will read that book. It'll be interesting to see what her opinion of what literature I might like as a comparison, and that'll be interesting. Richie Neal says, last time I made someone happy, it cost me nothing. Was the last time I took my donations to the homeless. Oh, that's lovely. One of the things I do want to do again, as something to kind of clear my life a bit, I have got a massive fabric collection. I have a sewing machine. I have a massive fabric collection. I don't make as much cosplay now as I used to. I am a stingy human. I'm trying to save money, and so if I only really make cosplays if I have somewhere to go with them, a formal occasion or a convention or something like that, and I have nothing like that on the horizon. So all the fabric that I've been building up for years and years and years, it's just sitting there, taking up space, and it's a real shame. And I've got nothing currently in the works. I'm like, I want to do this with my fabric, and I've got so much fabric, and it's literally just taking up space in my life. So one of the things I want to do, maybe tomorrow, once I've eventually woken up, we'll see what time that is sort out that fabric and trim it down and get it tidy and bundle it all up, and either give it to the fabric department, you can I have a fabric bin, like a used clothes bin, which like takes tattered clothes and give it to extremely impoverished people, while whole and nice clothes can go to charity shops. But the clothes bank is for things like jeans which are so ripped up you wouldn't want to give to a charity shop, or shirts with stains in them that you couldn't justify selling on, but for people who literally have nothing, trousers with a hole in or shirts with paint stains is clothing. So I have a clothes bank for that, or I might put the fabric in there, or I might donate it to a charity shop, because sometimes you can get fabric swatches in charity shops, or I could donate it to my local fabric shop. Either way, I want to clear that supply, because if there is a Halloween costume or a convention or something for which I need those fabrics, I can go out and buy them. I like the amount of space they're taking up is not worth the cost of me rebuying them later on. It just isn't. So I can get rid of them guilt free. So that's my next little pet project. So I'm excited about that. That's really sad that I'm excited about that, but there we go. So yeah, that'll be my next good deed, would be to donate those fabrics to whichever place will take them. I'm hoping charity shops might accept them if I neaten them up and fold them up and price them, or not price them, iron them and make sure they're clean and all that jazz and tidy. And then some young teenager who wants to be like, I'm going to be a fashion designer, can buy themselves a swatch of yellow fabric that they're never going to use and sit in the house for the next 10 years. But I'd rather it sit in someone else's house for the next 10 years than in my house. What an adorable sentiment, says Tor's Times. Hey Tor! Always love seeing old things find a new home where they will be appreciated. Well, I hope so. Again, I haven't discussed it, because there's nothing worse than me, going to my friend, my colleague, and being like, hey, did you like the book? Did you like the book that I gave you? Have you read the book? Did you like the book that I gave you? Have you read the book? No one needs that. No one needs that ever. So I thought it'd be best to be like, let's just, if she enjoys it, she enjoys it. If it goes to charity, I'm not going to mind. I'm going to leave it as is. Okay, still moving on through the commentaries, because no one's chatting in chat. If anyone does want to chat in chat, I am popping in and out. So if anyone does have any questions or wants to contribute to my one-sided, continuously rambly conversation, as is always a classic, plus the wine, feel free to do that. I am checking it. I'm not just reading commentaries. But yeah, got half an hour left on my timer, and we'll see whether or not I may be going for a little bit longer. I don't know. There's only a couple of you watching, but if you guys are having fun, let me know if that is good. Chris says, is there a reason why you're always streaming so late? So there's two reasons for that. One, if I am on an early shift at work, I am free the whole afternoon. Well, let's go back to the basics. Okay. So, notoriously, my sleep schedule has been messed up. Since I was about 11, I have not had a sensible sleep schedule. That is a combination of exhaustion in school. I used to get completely fatigued from certain levels of work. Not that I was academically, I wasn't bad at school, but in primary school I used to get completely academically exhausted. And then I would also get exhausted from a lot of other things. Then when I was about 11, I started getting up at like 5, 6 in the morning to watch TV before school. I'd still go to bed at a sensible time, but I'd get up very early, so my hours of sleep per week were cut, and then I'd lie in on the weekends. It got worse at sixth form, where I'd stay up later and get up later, because there'd be some days that I didn't start school until midday or 10 o'clock or 3, after lunch break. And then it got worse when I got to uni, because then you're like, hey, all-nighters of either partying or studying. And then I started work, and shift work is a real pain in the butt, because you're either getting up at very early in the morning, or you get to lie in. And when you get the opportunity to be like, I don't have to get out of bed until like 11:30, I just sleep. And then YouTube happened, and as much as I love the YouTube community, and I was praising its improvement on my life that YouTube has had, I have international friends, and a lot of the international friends I have are in the Americas. So their sleep schedule and their time zone is completely different to what would be traditionally considered a healthy European sleep schedule. So with Project Chronicle, it would often be, hey, do you want to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning and do a podcast until 7 a.m.? And I'd be like, yeah, that's fine. Let's do that. That's great. My sleep schedule messed up already. That's great. Hello, Coxinus. Hello. Welcome. Hi. Oh, lol. So I would do that, and that did not help either. So within the last 2 years, with my current job, I because of transportation and because of shift work, I had to get up at 5 a.m. if I was starting work at 7, because I had to either bike 9 miles or I had to bike until I got to a bus and then bus from there. And I got really ill. Like after years and years of sleeping abuse, I got really ill when I had to get up and be physical at 5 a.m. In all weathers. I started this job in the middle of December and January. So I got really, really sick. I got physically exhausted. I've been, mentally exhausted. You get like the kind of puffy feeling, you get the tired feeling, you get like the feeling like your head's in a bubble. You get the like just generally clumsy, you get not getting good at words. Like I've had every single type of tired you've ever had. I've had that at some point and it's been fine. But I've never had the like physically ill tired. And I did get that when I was coming off this years and years of like, hey, I'll get up at like 2 a.m. do a podcast and like hang out, and it was great and it was really fun and I will never regret those times. But when it was the point where I had to get up and be physical and then get at work and then be a professional for however many hours and then do the bike and the bus or the bike all the way back, I got so sick. I was so ill. So, you know, to conclude, my sleep schedule messed up, and I don't want to change my sleep schedule from what I had, which is more or less stable. It's not great, but it's stable. Because I do love interacting with international peoples and my friends who live abroad and who live on a different time zone. I don't want to neglect those relationships for the sake of my own sleep schedule, which I have done, and I do feel bad about it. But um, at the same time, I am aware that you poor European viewers like myself who are like, hey, it's 11:45 at night. And I'm like, hey, just starting. There we go. That is the very long-winded explanation for that. Christian says, I feel your uni and shish slash GNS streams destroyed my sleep schedule as well. Yeah, I tried Geek and Sundry when Critical Role first started coming out. When I really got into it, I think I got into it around the 6th or 7th stream, and then I went back and I watched it and I was hooked. For the first campaign, I was completely addicted, and I tried doing it live, and I think it was either 3 or 4 a.m. depending on which cycle of GMT to LA time it was, and I physically couldn't do it. And it was also when I was just starting. I think it started when I was in my old job. It's been going over 2 years. It started when I was in my old job, and then it got so much worse when I started my current job, especially with the transportation issues. And I physically couldn't do it. It made me so ill, and I really wanted to watch it live and get that investment, and I was like, no, I can't. And I enjoy in a way watching the VODs because you can pause to get a drink or go to the loo or whatever, and really get into it and watch it and repeat. So there wasn't anything from being live that I missed apart from the giveaways and some of the interaction. But the stream of consciousness, the chat, was so continuous and so heavy that you couldn't really get good conversation over anyway. So I didn't feel like I was missing too much from watching it not live, but I couldn't do it. How old are you? Oh, never ask a lady her age. I'm 26. I don't know whether or not you're expecting older or younger, but that is my age. I turned 26 in August, so my birthday was a couple of months ago. Watching first episode of new campaign of Critical Role. Blimey, on January 20th. So going through these comments. Alex the Great says Friday morning because England relates to the Middle East because you watch it at 5 a.m. Just discussing sleep schedules. Blimey, Alex the Great, you're probably not watching this live, but if you happen by chance to catch this far into this video on the VOD at another time, blimey, congratulations, that's madness. I'm going to put a thumbs up to see whether or not you notice this. To Pans, I get things like you look like the Shermanator from American Pie, which is one of the least complimentary ones I've had. I've had Tilda Swinton, I've had like you seem elvish, or like Raphaelite, which I found very complimentary. Classy Librarian, like that name came from SourceFed. SourceFed chose that name for me, and I'll forever be like, thank you for not calling me something much ruder. Yay, SourceFed for being nice. So thank you again. You're probably not watching this, but thank you. That was Tipanzo 3P 7 months ago. Rolian Ankisitiva from 8 months ago says, "Hey Jenny, hi Jenny, I've done it myself, and I was at home and tired and sick. I fall asleep. Hard as a rock, streaming it live on Twitch. Kisses and nice life." Okay, thank you. I'm gonna heart that because I know those feels. I feel like I know you. I feel like I know you. Kisses and have a nice life. David In says, lol, I'm Canadian, and you, Jenny, kind of remind me of my mother's side of my family. 9 girls and 3 boys. A very Victorian English prim and proper, but also very heartwarming. I would love to be part of your D&D group, and if you're accepting anyone. I've been playing since I was 17. I'm now 52. I would not be offended if you say it's a no, and it's all subjective anyways. I could be a sage of the group, lol. I love playing the rules, but I also like the freedom to homebrew rules. Always, I'm subbed and I can't wait for your next installment. Give me a shout if you ever want to buy some D&D and love to help you. Thank you, David Inns. I'm sorry it took me 8 months to respond to your comment. I feel like a bad human being because that's a lovely comment. I will post this live stream. I will promise to catch up with you guys on the commentaries because you guys are really, really lovely. You guys are such a lovely community, and it just seems like a shame that I've been neglecting you. KSJ Hawker 94 OP. KSJ Hawker says, "Oh, Jenny with her toothy grin." I know. I don't like my little. I've got like little fangs on the side of my mouth. I think I did Naked Truth on smiles, and I don't like my smile. I've got used to it. Like I've been watching it. Like I've talked about it recently on my Twitch stream. I've been watching a lot of Supernatural lately, and when you watch Supernatural, you watch the behind the scenes, you watch the bloopers because those guys are just charismatic buttholes. Like you can't help but like love them and also hate them. And I've been spending a lot of time watching all the bloopers and the behind the scenes, and I can't help but smile. Like it genuinely is just like me, like. So like my mouth hurts, my chin hurts slightly from like laughing and smiling so much, but it's also like, oh, I'm happy. I love having the energy back. I've never been much interested in watching shows like Critical Roles. The closest thing I've ever listened to is people playing Magic the Gathering at college. I may have been studying or playing the game of spades at the same time. I've never played Magic the Gathering. It's one of the things that I went to in my university. They had a gaming and LARP society, and the two sides of that was LARPing, as in they set up a battle, orcs like monsters and then so if you were a non-monster, you then fought the monsters, and then you switched, and then you switched. So less RP. Like my only reason for doing LARP would be to do like basically costumed role playing. Like that sounds like a lot of fun to me. It's something I've always wanted to do. Like in the same way, escape rooms seem really fun. Just to get that physical embodiment to a psychological experience. But the LARP society seemed a bit kind of not my cup of tea. And the gaming society seemed like there was the what was the word? There was the kind of the board game section, including Magic the Gathering, where they were all like really, really into it, but not really natural. I don't know whether or not how much of it was not being naturally good at teaching or not being willing to teach, but it felt as an outsider like they were like, you don't know, get out. And they also had the like the full blown like Warhammer games, whereas like you've been playing the same battle for 3 weeks and you come in and you set up the battle and then you measure everything. And for me, the fun I get from D&D is not the mechanics, it's the role playing. And I felt like the society really kind of, it was very shut off for me. I couldn't get into it. But yeah, I because of that Magic the Gathering, there was a section for Magic the Gathering, but I never learned to play. No one has ever explained to me how to play Magic the Gathering, and it seems like it could be fun. It seems like it could be quite an expensive hobby, and D&D exactly that noise. This game, because we have not been able to sub up sync up weekends with my sister and her friends. So I am in a profession where if I'm lucky, I get every other weekend off. As I've talked about before, my manager's been really nice this year and has kind of structured it so I have the potential to have every other weekend off. My sister and her friends are all professionals. Like, I, I don't think it's too much of a spoiler to say they're in high ranking positions. Um, and because of that, they have very they have shift work too, but from a very professional standpoint. I feel like again, trying not to talk about work. I feel like their positions, they're there because they have to be there. My job could disappear tomorrow, and the world maybe would be a little bit less off for it, but not in the same way my sisters are. So because they've got real obligations to their work for professional and moral reasons, I feel very uncomfortable being like, no, you take this weekend off to play D&D with me, especially as newbies who haven't really experienced it before. So we just haven't been able to sync up weekends. Red Sky Blackbird says everyone's good. That's how I feel every time I watch Critical Role, especially Matt, since as a fellow DM, I feel how masterful his work is. He can capture the audience with his explanation so magnificently. It's somewhat frightening. There is still a Mount Everest between him and me, but I'm climbing. Oh, that's great! Yay! Ching 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 ching. Applause. Yeah, like D&D and DMing is always going to be a learning curve. Always. It's always going to be a challenge. It's always going to be exciting, and it's always going to be a new thing. Anyway, let's go back into the actual live chats because I've been ignoring you. Hello, 7 of you watching while I've been going through other things. We've got another question about how old I am. I've just told you how old I am. Go back and watch the VOD. I literally just said it like 10 minutes ago. Broom says, got a sweep sweep. You sweep? For shame. For shame. Hello, Casanobly. I know you. You're an IRL friend. Hi. Says I have decks, etc. of ours. We can do magic and wine night. Well, I've got the wine. Sounds like fun. Again, it seems very challenging, but we'll get there. Bye bye, Christopher Paulson, aka CP Falcon, one of the OG followers and member of the Naked Army, all that jazz. Get some sleep. I know it's late. It's 5 to 12 right now. I'm gonna keep chugging along because I'm stupid. But yeah, there we go. Hey. You seem very nice. If ever you need someone to play games with or just chat with, feel free to always contact. Yeah. Naked Army. Yeah. Out of context, it's not about nudity. It's a tool for the blogger, not a tool for the audience. Don't be a tool. That should be a catchphrase for Naked Truth, honestly. It's a tool for the vlogger, not for the audience. Don't be a tool. That's pretty cool. Have a good evening. Sleep well. Bye. Hello, Corinne. Hello. IRL friends. This is interesting. This is really quite alarming. Hello everyone. Best thing is not to take it seriously. Good advice. Okie dokie. Oh my gosh, there's 9 of you. For shame. So for those of you who are just coming in, hi. I wasn't going to be doing this on YouTube. I was going to play some games on Twitch, but everything I've tried has gone awfully wrong. My computer is in panic mode. I tried Oblivion on Steam. I tried Skyrim on Steam. Did not work. I tried Oblivion on disc. Did not work. I tried Don't Starve, and I tried a DOSBox game called Blades of Exile, which is the lowest possible programming I could possibly run, and none of them work. So I think the problem is either with my computer or OBS. So I tried doing Twitch, did not work, was awful. Tried again, was terrible. So instead I decided to do this, which is a live commentary for those of you who don't know. This is my first live one. So what I used to do is I used to be like, no one would turn up for a live show. I'm gonna just talk about comments, record it in a impromptu live format, but without the live interaction. So you guys comment, I respond to your comments, and then I post the video. And it's a big, long, rambly video, full off kilter, blah 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 blah. And I was like, hey, I kind of miss you guys and I want to do a live interaction, so I shall do a live video, and I will respond to my comments that I've been neglecting for months and months and months. So it's live commentary. So I'm going back through my videos currently. I am looking at one January 2018, which was the truth on the new YouTube policy. And yeah, as I said, January 18th. 2018. Yeah, so I've really been neglecting you guys. I've really been neglecting YouTube. KSJ Hawker 94, again, another OG along with Raymond Smith. KSJ said, just keep feeding me and scratch me behind my ears occasionally and I will be loyal forever. Haha, thank you, KSJ. You are one of the old schoolers. Like, have you been here since the beginning of my channel? You're a mad fish. Hey Raymond, old school movie clubber. Good choices with the who to look to. Do not link to my video. It's me yelling, comparing YouTube to pro wrestling, and about 20 minutes of things to make sense to say, but I decided to rant instead. I did do the maths though. 500 views per video for 5 minutes per video would get you 96 videos a year, and you can reach 44,000 videos. So I could do the time allowed to get the views, but basically I've come to the conclusion I'm never going to be able to consistently make content that is reliable enough and you guys want to watch enough I could ever get paid for YouTube. And I'm not here for that. I am not. Because it's never going to happen. And frankly, if I were to think of terms of like, how much money can I make from YouTube? I think that would change who I am and what this interaction is. This interaction is for me to be friendly, for you guys to be friendly, for us to have a conversation, for me to enjoy you guys chatting among each other. Like, if I can make you happy and you can be happy being here, then I am a happy bunny. And, that makes sense to me. I'm never going to make money off YouTube, but I've been here for a long time and I feel like I know a little bit about it. Da, 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 I haven't missed any comments in chat. So back to the comments in my videos. So back to the 18th of the 18th Naked Truth. You look like Suzanne Wast. I'm going to look up that person. I don't know what she looks like. Let's see if I can find a picture and see if it is interesting. Oh, she was in that horror movie. Yeah, I'll take the compliment. I mean, she's a little bit Albany. But yeah, she's pretty in a slightly creepy way, which I imagine is hopefully probably what I end up looking like in the most part. The only thing I know her to be in was in a horror movie. I've also had one of the other people that I've been told to look like. I've been told that I look like Sissy Spellick, Carrie. I look like the original Carrie. So I'll take the compliment. I'm a weird looking lady. My hairdresser at one point was like, so yeah, so you had a hangover haircut. Fair dues, fair dues, but you've got an unusual face, so you can pull it off. And I was like, thank you. That's really sweet. I've got an unusual face, so I can pull off an awkward haircut. I will take it as a compliment. But yeah, I can see that. Like now I'm looking at my face talking. Ugh, I don't like being able to see my face while I'm streaming, but every time I go back to check on the comments, it's like, there's your face. Blah. Yeah, now I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, if you think that's a comparison, I can see it. Yes, so look up pictures of, let me get her name again. Pictures of Suzanne West, so that's Wuest. And she was in a horror movie where she played like a mother who had surgery or something and then needs to kill the children. I don't know, but there we go. Random Street Theatre, hello, long time no chatsies. I've gotten a payout twice, but I have less than 200 subs. Well, good for you. Again, the algorithm is not necessarily built for the number of subscribers. It's more built towards content and viewership. So you could have very few numbers of subscribers, but you could have a very long or very consistent viewership. Meredith Nelson said, I love you. I love you too. I don't know you. I don't love you because I've never met you before, but nice of you to say it. And I hope you have enjoyed the video. I'm gonna send you a heart for that. There we go. Heart you. Heart. It's hard to hold a glass of wine and also do a heart symbol. Daily Rambles. Well, you're right up my street. If anything from the past hour or so is to be listened to, there is a Daddy Longlegs crawling on my bottle of wine right now. Let's see whether or not I can. Oh no, it flew off. Okay, it's probably gonna flew. Nope, it's flying that way. It's flying around my room. If it turns up on screen, I'll be like, hi. My face is great. Oh, thank you, Corinne. You're a sweetheart. My face is my face. Like, if I have self-esteem issues, it's not to do with physical traits. It's all to do with psychological traits. Like, it's one of the reasons why my mum teases me about being fat all the time is because I'm the one member of the family who doesn't worry. Like, mm, me and my sister are the same, which is you've still got a nose. And that means it's one of the things that I thought about. Like, it's a long time ago. I've reached a grand age. I've reached 26 years old, and in the history of humanity, I have all my limbs. I have not been through any significant trauma, and I have survived to 26. Like, if you look at the history of the world, the history of human civilization, the number of people who died before reaching the age of 26, the number of people who made it to 26 but missing a finger or missing a toe or missing a leg, and I have all of my limbs, I have all of my facial features, I'm okay. I'm okay. I can survive. There's no point in worrying about am I too fat or am I too thin or, you know, how are my teeth? I have all my teeth. I'm gonna be grateful for that. There we go. Chris says, "What do you want to be for Halloween?" I don't know. I'm going to Canada. I suspect one of our events is going to be shopping for Halloween ideas and that sort of thing. Because I am traveling to Canada for it, I'm probably not going to bring any costume things with me. I'm probably going to buy something when I get there, discuss what tour's doing, maybe do some sort of collaborative thing or a theme thing. I don't know. It's exciting. It's my first time I've ever been able to like do something exciting for like Halloween for ages. My last Halloween costume I think last year I just wore I was online and I found a really cute goth dress and I was like I'll just be a gothy something or other and I bought a red petticoat and it was okay but didn't really fit very well and didn't do much for it. It's kind of cheap fabric. The year before that I was having a really skinny month. Not for like anything deliberate. It just I happened to be petite that month. I bought this really beautiful black silk skirt that was it's too small for me. I can't wear it anymore. It like pops my ribs. It's like properly like cinching in my waistline. And I bought that really cute skirt. And so for my Halloween costume, I was like a hipster witch. I did like big black glasses and like did my hair all curly and was like, ugh, I did pagan rites before you did pagan rites. And that was my Halloween costume for that year. And then before that, I've like most of the time I just do witches. I did Cassandra de Rollo. That was the one before that. So that's the last 3 years of Halloween costumes was random gothy girl, hipster witch, and Cassandra de Rollo, which was really fun. And it was before Cassandra, her character description had come out. So I had my long hair, and it for some reason that day it just happened. No, I think I did curl it. So I had long blonde curly hair, and I had a red dress that I made, and I did all of that. So it worked out really nicely, and I'm really proud of that costume. And the pictures came out beautifully. Like I photographed it in front of a wardrobe in my house, which has like old oak, and I did it mostly in the dark, but with flash, so it's like really high contrast. It's really good pictures, and I got beautiful feedback from the critic community. So yeah, that's probably my favorite costume I've done to date for Halloween. And I did like a Dorolo family crest symbol on my hand to kind of just make it thematic because otherwise it just made a red dress with a dagger. I did like bite marks on my neck and I was really proud of the makeup on that. So yeah, that was really fun. Yeah. So I don't know what I'm going to do for Halloween this year. I assume when I get to Canada, I will be inspired. There might be a theme, there might be something I don't know, but there'll be time. I miss having my hair because I used to be able to do so much with it. But maybe I should be Tinkerbell. I don't know. We'll work it out. Morning skinny is the best skinny. Oh yeah, when you wake up in like after a really long lie-in and you're like, yeah, that's nice. Look at that. Yeah, I'm okay. Everything again. But in the end, body types don't matter. Health, happiness, hygiene. The three H's. If you are healthy, if you eat a reasonable amount of whatever food, which results in you being physically able to do what you need to do for the day. If you are relatively fit, so you can do what you need to do during the day, doesn't matter anything else in between. Hygiene, brush your teeth, wear deodorant, wash your hair, don't be stinky. and you will be fine. And happiness, have a good personality. 3 H's: health, hygiene, happiness. Be a good, clean person who looks after yourself, and you will be the most beautiful person. Like, and there are days when I don't apply to those. I am a bitch sometimes. I do not look after myself sometimes. I eat crappy food sometimes, and I'm not good at that sort of thing. But when it all comes together, you know, people are people. People are people. Be you, peoples. And that's not the wine talking. That is genuine and sincere. Like, people are beautiful when they are themselves. That's my hour and a half timer going off. I've been here an hour and 35 minutes, but I'm going to carry on. Screw it. I'm going to carry on until I fall asleep. Already sounds like a lot to knit. A lot to knit? I don't know what that means. Um, I did actually, I forgot to mention Halloween last year. It wasn't actually for Halloween Day. Halloween Day, as I said, I wore the kind of goth outfit for, I went to a Halloween party, I think just before Halloween, and the theme, actually, the same group of people. I've gone to several costume parties. I went to a Knights versus Barbarians party, and I did Lazy Jedi because like Knights, hey, I'll be a Jedi Knight, haha. So I wore like a white dress with a brown sash, and I had a laser sword, which was a cheap sword from a costume shop. Which instead of making like shring, like vroom, vroom, vroom noises, made like ting 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 noises. It's so cheap. It was beautiful. And then last year I actually dressed as my D&D character, my OG long-term D&D character who has had so many close calls the last 2 home sessions. I'm like, please don't kill Nyla. I love her. She's part of my soul. So she's my elven cleric who I loved to bits, and I did like a full costume, and I made a kilt for that. So that's why I was like inspired. And I made like a trident, and I think I did video on that. I don't know whether or not that's part of the videos that we'll be going through today. I doubt it because that was last year. But there we go. Whew. Anyone still watching? Probably not. So, I think we all need to put things in perspective because it sucks that the money was really that much. From Daily Rambles, I think I've already mentioned that comment. Tiny Teddy says, kiss, kiss, kiss. I love you, Tiny Teddy. It's been ages. I haven't been on the Alcon thing forever. I keep on getting like friend requests, and I'm like, I haven't watched anime in so long. I feel like I'm, again, of all the communities to neglect, I'm neglecting my Bristol friends and my anime community friends and my YouTube. I'm neglecting so many people. There's only so much I can do, guys. I need to sleep. Tour tag game music tag from January 17th. This is a tag that I made. And Tor says, most excellent. Funny enough, I just started making a playlist of my own 2 days ago. It's like you are subconsciously prepping for this tag. I must admit, there are several songs on your list that I don't think I've heard. My list will be very different, should be interesting. I need to rewatch that video because I actually put in a lot of effort into that video. I did a lot of like captures and stuff to be able to capture the music videos and stuff. So yeah, that was exciting. Technicolorful, hello, said, I filmed my entire response without realising you made up this tag. Didn't realise till I came back here and the list was watched again. So when you watch it, keep that in mind. Yes, I did see your video. I don't know whether or not I commented on it. Given that I haven't responded to your comment, I remember definitely watching your video, and it was lovely. And I love that you guys turned this into like a tag for at least 2 people, which was great. Keshe says, hey, what? No Gangnam Style? I don't know if anyone could have chosen a best music video. They're so very different. Some present storylines have a lot of choreographed dancing, maybe artistic or animated, plenty of good-looking women and men, or just plain funny. And there are probably a combination of these things. Being a fan of Madonna, I might have chosen Vogue, and it would have opted for Thriller over Smooth Criminal. Fair dues. Like, a Thriller is one of those ones that, as a music video, I think it's got a very, the story's very kind of streamlined, and it is the classic of epic music videos. But for me, Smooth Criminal has just, I can remember studying it in dance class and it just being, like, it's just, the movement in it is so slick. That it reminded me of a lot of the professional choreography that we studied. And I just really love it. I really, really love it so much. I'm going to have to rewatch that video because I remember being like, this is so good. Okie dokie. Let's see, go back to live chat. You could tell about how much we were abused as lemonades, tiny. Oh, yeah. Um, sorry, let me go back a little bit. Monty is the best. Yes. Already sounds like a lot to knit. What was her name again? My cleric. My cleric was name is Nyla. She has a longer name, but that's a secret. Not allowed to tell. I don't think anyone who is part of the home game is here, but Nyla, that she's under. Her name is complicated. Let's go with that. Her name is complicated and reveals stuff about her character which hasn't been revealed in game yet. So yeah, Nyla's a very complicated character, and she is genuinely part of my soul, and I love her a bit. The OG D&D, yeah, she was my first ever character, and I had her as part of a campaign which was part of the club game, which I've already discussed, I think, during this video, where you vote in, and it was a campaign that had already started, but then a lot of new players came in, so they took me out and they put a load of new players in with an experienced DM, and we ran for a couple of weeks, and then that was the end of the block. So we moved on to different campaigns, and so I'd written this character that I loved and I put so much soul into, and then she disappeared. And I played a couple of other characters, and then there was a couple of a couple of guys in the group were like, "Hey, we're making a home game. Do you want to come along?" And I was like, "Yes." They're like, "Do you have any ideas for characters?" I'm like, "Do you have a cleric?" And they were like, "No." And I was like, "Can I kind of remaster this character who I love?" They're like, "Yeah, sure." So Nyla came back to life, and just changed her cleric choice. She was a healing cleric, and then she changed to a tempest cleric because I figured that was a lot more in her personality. And also I changed a lot of the stuff about her character because originally she was a lot more like she was low charisma and like in a kind of social phobia way. And then I changed her to a low charisma in a kind of angry Galadriel way. So she yeah, it worked out nicely. Um, Corinne, I hope you don't mind me saying Corinne because you did say it in the chat. 70562K says you could tell them about how much we abuse Lehman's tiny hut in the Wednesday game if you're talking D&D. So again, I've been deliberately not talking about this too much because the Canadians are technically in the same universe and doing the same campaign that you're doing, and possible Canadians might watch this video later. But I don't know whether or not they use the same techniques. So this week in the game that I'm running, I'm DMing for a local group, including 70562K, who is in chat right now. She's our cleric. I love clerics so much. Cleric's the best. Our blade singing wizard cast Lehman's tiny hut as a kind of a safety room. I basically the point with the campaign is that the players are really very powerful, and I'm so proud of my players. My players are incredibly intelligent, very structured players who know how to build characters intelligently, and they know how to play a battlefield intelligently. They know to check for traps. They know like there is nothing that they are doing in their campaign that I wouldn't do playing. They are much more technical and intelligent than I am, and because of that, I have to set their encounters very difficult. And they are in the boss areas now. They are as high as this campaign will get. They are taking on the big bads. And because of that, they've been set a lot of very difficult challenges, which I genuinely do not fear for them. I have set them as hard as I can possibly set them, and they are still kicking my butt. And I'm so happy for them that they are still kicking my butt, even though I'm like, what more can I do to try and kill you guys? But yeah, so like it's not an impossible challenge, but it's meant to be a challenge level there at the moment. So I can't talk about too much. Sorry, Corinne. We'll try and keep it spoiler free just in case the Canadians do happen, because they are asking. Because they will hopefully eventually maybe get to the stage you're at in the timeline and in the location that you're at. But basically, the players in my current game are in a tough spot. They are taking on the big bad in a dangerous environment, an environment that is and genuinely the environment itself is a villain. environment that they're in the longer they stay in it, the worse it will get. And they are also in a place that is actively dangerous, and they're a clever use of cushions. So they are using Liam and Tiny Hut as a genius safety room. So that even though I'm throwing stuff at them that could be dangerous, and again, I don't fear for them. I think they're going to still kick my boss's butts. But I am leveling this up to make it a challenge. They are using Lehman's Tiny Hut as basically a massive pillow-filled escape room safety pod. Hopefully that doesn't spoil anything. It's brilliant, and I love that they're using it this way. I think it's genius. I think that they could really survive this, and it's great. It's great. It's great. Anyway, it's okay if we won't tell them if it's a squirrel lich. It may well be a squirrel lich. Who's to know? YouTube Stop Asking for My Real Name says, "It is I, Cato Salacaris. Have you been to Canada?" I'm going to Canada. I'm going to Canada come October 24th, 25th, because obviously time difference. You might even survive this. Yes, I think you will. I think you will. We'll see. At least one or two of you will survive. DM giggle, DM giggle. So I will be going to Canada. I haven't gone yet. Earlier I got a question way back. I'm sorry I ignored it, about what's on my bucket list. So most of the things on my bucket list are traveling. Things that I definitely want to do is so the ones that are on my bucket list are New Zealand, Australia, Canada, America, Ireland, Paris, and Japan. Those are the places I definitely want to visit in my life. Now, of those, in Egypt, which was on my bucket list when I was like for an 11, but I kind of that one's a lesser one now, but it is probably still there. Of the ones that I've gone to, I went to Australia when I was 11. I do want to go back. I went to Paris last year. I'm going to Canada this year. I'm going to Japan next year. So the only ones left are Ireland, New Zealand, Egypt, and whichever the other one was. So I'm getting there. I'm doing a lot of my bucket list, and one of them is Canada, so I'm really excited. Do you have a favourite spell? My favourite spell is Spirit Guardians. Freaking love Spirit Guardians. It's great. It is a concentration spell. Either Spirit Guardian or Spiritual Weapon. So Spiritual Weapon's great because it's a non-concentration spell that you can use as a bonus action that does a considerable amount of damage. So depending on how high level you can cast it, you can just put it up and it just cracks out damage every round. It's great. I love it. And you can also put stylistic features on it. So mine is in the shape of a giant trident because that's awesome. The other one is Spirit Guardian. So basically, it's an area of effect spell, but centered on you. So as long as you like stay directly behind the tank, you can be within 15 foot of an enemy and do a considerable amount of damage every single round, and it's great. It is great. And mine are in the shape of angelfish because my cleric is a cleric of oceans and storms, and so it's angelic because she's a good cleric. So her evil like I have evil angelfish that eat people's faces, and it's the best visual, and it makes me happy. And it's a really powerful spell. It makes me really happy. So yeah, that's my favorite spell. Go to Montreal, pretty good city. Grew up in Canada, a few cities worth going to. I'm in the US now. Montreal is good. So Montreal is good. I'm only going to Vancouver. So I'm staying with my friend the whole way through, and we've got a huge amount of things that we're going to be doing. So I don't think there's going to be too much time to do any additional traveling, but I will be more than happy to go back again and do additional places in Canada. From everything I've heard of Canada, it is a lovely place and everyone's really nice. And like the number of friends who are like, "You're never going to want to leave," I'm like, yes, that's probably true. I'm never going to want to leave. Anyway, I'm going to do one more commentary video, so I'll come back to your comments in 1 second. So going back to the start of the day, Cat Darkness Belated Snooze Dreams video, which is from January 16th. Tor says, "Wow, you're so close to the bus stop. I didn't even know where the closest bus stop is to my house. It should take me a pilgrimage to find out." Super nifty to see you vlogging out and about. More of this. You look so warm. As for British talk show, I like Graham Norton. Yay, Graham Norton's fun. We get his show here in the States. That's from KSJ Hawk, who talked about Graham Norton. So yeah, I really but I do feel very uncomfortable vlogging in public. And a lot of my relatively secret. Not for any like mischievous reasons, just because personal privacy is a thing. So I do want to do more outside vlogging and more daytime vlogging and more like less like I'm in my room all the time. This is my room. When I do move into my new house, my new place, I will show you guys around. And there we go. You'd rate Canada 7.8 out of 10. Is that a good 7.8? I mean, what would you rate England? Have you ever lived in England? What would you give England? I'd be interested to know. Pretty dress, congratulations, JNS. Happy B-Day, Falcon, and outdated metaphors from January 26th, 2018. Dr. Fu Manchu, another OG commenter, says, that really is a pretty dress and you look lovely. Oh, thank you. And the metaphor got me stumped there for a moment. Good thing you added an explanation right away. I don't even know what I said. This is going back to January. Oh gosh, that's when I had long hair. KSJ Hawker says, you are pretty. I never thought before that the metaphor needed an explanation. Oh, thank you. It's nice to know that everyone's got a different opinion, even people within my own community. So, like, this is a lot of the old school. Dr. Fu Manchu, KSJ Hawker, Red Sky Blackbird, Big Burger Tube, Falcon, David Enns. So, yay! Thank you to all of you guys who are regularly commenting. And hopefully you guys will be able to watch this live stream later and enjoy it. Who knows? Funny, your favourite earrings and the favourite necklace match my favourite Jenny. Aww. Oh, thank you, Red Sky Blackbird. Big Burger Tube says, I don't get out to do many fancy dinners, but you look lovely and I'm glad you had a great time. I did. I can't even remember which dinner it was. Oh, it was congratulations to JNS. Yeah. Yeah, congratulations, JNS. I'm still very excited about this development between JNS. So congratulations, JNS. Falcon says, Jenny, you're my favourite and my best. Heart, heart. Oh, I doubt I'm your best, but thank you for the compliment nonetheless, Falcon. Again, if you watch this, you probably won't. I mean, how long is this video? This video's been going like 2 hours? Yep, very close. Very close to 2 hours. David In says, nice one, Jenny. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okie dokie. So, we're coming up to nearly 2 hours. Your choice, guys. You guys who are in chat. Let me just check with F YouTube. Stop asking for my real name. Says how many? Too many nurglings in public. You can't associate with them. Yeah, people outside people are creepy people. It says I've never been to England. Can't rate. Been to Turkey though. Not bad. Cool. For you, those of you in chat. So that's currently, according to YouTube, 6 of you. Do you want me to stop for now, or do you want me to carry on for a little bit longer? It's your choice. I've got nearly 10 months worth of videos that I can clock through, but I might do this tomorrow and do maybe a early morning PJ stream to kind of catch some other people and catch up some more on comic commentaries. But I feel like I should probably call it a night pretty soon, as it's now 12:30. And I've been trying to get this stream off the hook for a long time now. So I might call it a day there, unless you guys are like, yes, keep streaming, get through all the videos, woo. But it's up to you. Oh my gosh, I'm coming up to nearly 1,000 videos on YouTube. Wow. That'll be interesting. When I get to 1,000 videos, I have to do something exciting. Obviously, that's not quite 1,000 public videos. According to my total video YouTube, I'm on 952 currently. Obviously, this one will go up online later on. I think I'll also put up the Twitch stream I did earlier, if that has successfully saved. But there we go. Stay. Any hobbies? My primary hobby is D&D. YouTube is a hobby, Twitch is a hobby. I occasionally make things. I occasionally do cosplay, very few and far between. I occasionally do embroidery, I read books, I cycle, I dance. I don't know how many of those count as actual hobbies, but there we go. Okay, I'm going to go on to the next commentary video. and see what we are looking like. The next one on the videos is from January 24th, 2018, called Nighttime Ice Cream and Tea, and it has no comments, so that's a nice, quick, cheap date. 500 subscribers. I feel like I've already done this video. Yeah, I definitely have already clicked and opened this video. Yay! That is an unlisted video for when I was streaming on Twitch. So that is way old, and yeah, that's obviously got no comments because it's private, because that's from January 29th when I was streaming on Twitch. Okie dokie, we're getting through the videos, guys. We might actually get out of January before the end of October, if that makes any sense. You guys know what I mean. You guys have been watching for long enough to know what's what. Pumpkin beer is good. I've never had pumpkin beer. I'm not really a pumpkin person or a beer person. I like pumpkin soup. I haven't really experienced pumpkin flavored foods. Like, I know pumpkin like lattes are a thing. But there we go. Oh, blimey, O'Reilly, you guys are chatty in the comic commentary for Giftbox, Muffin, Britain, etc. From January 29th. A lot of it is from Red Sky Blackbird, who did timestamps because it's a long video, Tor and KSJ and Nathan Lar. So we've got a couple of the OG commenters. KSJ Hawker says, ouch, ouch, don't put me in the eye. Now I'm patch wearing guy. This video is so long I had to plug a phone in. Does the breakfast include muffins? Does it an English breakfast? So an English breakfast, for those of you who don't know, traditionally is a fry up. So that's like fried eggs, fried bread, sausages, bacon, tomatoes. You can throw in black pudding. Basically, a fry up is an English breakfast. Continental in general includes things like croissants, cereals, etc. It does not generally include muffins. Things like muffins, donuts, and waffles for breakfast is very American in my experience. But there we go. That's the question. I'm pretty sure muffin might be a secret word of the day. Oh, it'll probably be patch, maybe. For those of you who don't know, and you guys who are watching live right now, those of you watching live. So when I do comment commentaries previously, and they're usually not quite this long, they're usually about an hour. When I do commentaries traditionally, and this is a live one, and it's an exception because I wanted to stream on Twitch and everything went kaput. I do a secret word at the end of the video to see if anyone commenting actually watched through to the end. To see if they got to the end and actually listened enough or were concentrating by the end of it to be like, hey, I actually watched the end, and I put a secret word in there so then they can put it in the comments and be like, hey, you and I both know that you and I are both in the game and you actually watched. So at some point during this comment commentary comments, we should be able to work out what the secret word of the day is. I'm pretty sure it's muffin. That seems likely, but it could be patch. Nathan Lyle says, I love it when I get spammed by notifications to get me excited knowing the commentary is arriving. You guys won't be today because it's a live commentary. Way. I get very offended when people say negative things about the weather. Weather does not deserve to be insulted. What has weather ever done to you? I remember Mr. Men, when the TV show that made it to America some years ago. There have been many times in my life when I've woken up to a bed full of candy wrappers. I was an obese teenager. I live in Texas. It's the only waste of money if you spend it on yourself. If you spend it on someone else, you can call it charity. Bless you! This video was too short. Let's see how long this video was. This video was 1 hour and 30 minutes. Wow. We need to get it over 2 hours. I was actually eating breakfast while watching this video. It wasn't English breakfast, it was an American breakfast. 2 bacon and egg burritos. Oh, that sounds intensive for breakfast. I do have some tea bags if you're saying breakfast on them. So wow, that's a big long comment. And there's a big long commentary, but apparently not long enough. Okay, Red Sky Blackbird says, I want a muffin too, but I don't have one, sad face. He also says, muffin has to be eaten. I think I was eating a muffin in the video. Toast Time says, something English breakfast. I think English breakfast was the word of the day. Red Sky Blackbird says, 90 minutes of Jenny saying things about things. I said about things about her. Sweet! My eyes, stop poking them, you monster. I must have poked the camera a little bit. I'm sorry. At 23:35, you're not crazy. A friend of mine is pretty much the same. That's why I like her. Oh, thank you. The muffin needs eating. I see. Tour Time says, love the commentary. I'm really tempted to do one as well. Lol. I'll do every comment I've ever gotten. Oh, bless you. I'm sure you got more than enough comments. I swear. Red Sky Blackbird says, big secret. Send Jenny Skittles. She loves them and gets really physically sick of them. Well, I do enjoy Skittles, but I have found that I really like English Skittles. English Skittles are a staple of my life and make me really happy. When I had Skittles in America, they were bad. I did not like them. It's something to do with the preservatives was awful, and I was just like, this is a disappointment and awful, and I hate them. There we go. End of commentary from January. Let's go back to the live chat. Live chat says, do you like pumpkin carving? I'm not good at pumpkin carving. I did have a date. One of my favorite dates I've ever done was pumpkin carving. It was really sweet. It was really lovely. It was me and this guy, and we were carving pumpkins, and it was really really sweet. And we did a couple of them which were like proper traditional carving where you like scoop out all the things and do the proper carving, and I did like a scary face on one side, and then the other side, just so I could get as much oxygen as possible to the candle, I cut out this big star, and then I stuck a couple of plastic spiders so they dangled down, so when the shadow happened, it was like shadows of spiders, which I thought was really good. And then we also did we got some glow in the dark gel paints, and so we didn't slice up the pumpkins, we left them whole, but then did gel paint, glow in the dark gel paint on the outside. So then they were like glow in the dark, non-candle lit pumpkins, which also meant they didn't go moldy as quickly, which is really good. So yeah, that was fun. It was a really cute day. It was really fun. I'm not good at it, but it was really fun. Jenny eats nightly Nutella yogurts. You're cute. Wrote you a name poem. Aww. Eats nightly Nutella yogurt. Oh, it's an acrostic. Aww. Aww. Secrets. I don't like Nutella. I always found Nutella slightly too nutty, ironically. In theory, I like it. I don't mind it like in things like when you're expecting it. Like if you were to have a chocolate crepe, you'd have it with Nutella. You wouldn't have it with like fresh chocolate. And I do like it in that. But that's really sweet. Eats nutty Nutella yogurt. That's really sweet. You're a sweetheart. Anywho, going back to I should make a video. I clicked on it instead of reading the title. The title of the video that I will next be looking at the comments for are should make a video, need sleep, but want a cuppa, from January 27th, which apparently was about me wanting a cup of tea late at night, which is happening. That happens all the time. In fact, I probably will get one before I go to bed today. Nathan Lyle says, again, OG commenter Nathan Lyle, OG commenter David Enns, Red Sky Blackbird, KSJ Tours, yeah, all of the usual suspects. Thank you guys. Nathan Lyle says, watch this at 2 a.m. when I got home from work and I was drifting in and out of sleep. I'm pretty sure I heard you say, I want to snuggle up with Gordon Ramsay, but I can safely say that is relatively unsafe. I want some tea. I swear I'm adult, like mentors? Well, I'm not going to rewatch the video, so I'm going to assume that's relatively correct. Like, it kind of sounds like your Google Translate, but I'll agree to assume that is relatively in line. My Sky Blackbird has 2 comments. One of them is, one vlog per seems too much, but if you go down to one every 2 days, if there's no Jenny left after a month, there won't be any videos anyway. And then I took a massive break, so I'm sorry. Whatever I said in that video about actually doing it. And he also says commentary, which is funny. David In says, lol, my grandma would call it pearl tea and loved it. It was our time together when I visited her. She is 97 now and still pretty together. Nice to talk, my dear. Aw. Well, congratulations on your grandma being 97. That's pretty good. My granddad was 97 when he died. He says, lovely ramble, absolutely lovely. What were you talking about, getting a car at one time, or did I just imagine that? I do have a car. we've had a discussion about it. I think at that point I did have a car that has since gone away. But I have a new car, so let's focus on the positive here. Toast time says, great, now I want a milky tea too. Yes, that's going to be one thing when I do go to Canada. We're going to need some English breakfast tea bags, or else I'm going to be a grumpy goose. Okay, go back to the live chat. Yay! Teleporter says, "You're so strange." I am. I'm like a fourth generation eccentric. There was never any hope. I'm always going to be a big old weirdo. I also have the excuse of wine, so I'll claim that if I need to. But I don't mind being a weirdo. I'm a weirdo. I'm a nutty lady. I'm a big old barrel of strange. I don't mind that. Everyone's strange. You know, I could be a professor in strange. Screw doctor. I'll be a professor in strange any day. Carrying on with the commentary overload. First Twitch of the year, Oblivion continues, part 2, murder. The only person to comment on that is KSJ Hawker, who said, murder most foul, and Jenny kills her sister. You should have tried to make it more interesting. Sneak up and knife them. No great assassin would stand back and use arrows. Yeah, I remember that being that was one of the assassination challenges for Oblivion, where you get locked in a house and you have to slowly kill everyone off. And it was fun, but it was a challenge. And I'm not very good at murder, but there we go. Okie dokie. Let's go to the next video. Unless anyone is chatting live. Nope, no more comments from the live people. Feel free to comment. I'm still looking at you guys. I'm just also doing additional comments. Oh, new comment. Have you ever gone to do you ever go to Renaissance Festival? In a historical site, and we don't do that sort of thing. It's not considered correct unless you're working in like a castle or something where there are children's events and you wear costumes. It's not really a thing. There are LARPs, but there isn't really Renaissance festivals in the traditional manner, which is one of the reasons why I want to go to like America during Renaissance Festival, because they look ridiculously fun. I'd love to do it. I'd love to be like a wench, shoot arrows, and yeah, do Ren Fair. But it's a far off fantasy at the moment. I'm doing Halloween in Canada. I'm getting there, but I've never. There is no Renaissance festivals in the UK. I have done a Jane Austen walk. I went round Bath dressed in like full Jane Austen walk gown outfit, and we watched some country dancing and that sort of thing. But that's as close as I've gone to a Renaissance festival. So sorry. Bye bye, Casanobly. Off to bed now. Good night. Get some sleep, you silly goose. See you Wednesday. For continuation of our D&D game. Everyone give Casanobly a hand on his way out. He's one of my players. Along with Series of Numbers, aka Corinne. You guys are awesome. So yeah. Thank you for letting me build the world for you to play in, because you guys are great players. Okie dokie, back to my video. It was called Plans, D&D, Vlogs and Sleep from February 7th. We're into February! Yay! Well, a month away from January. So we're still a good couple of months away from now, but we're getting there. KSJ says, that's okay, if you're too busy, I can spend a few extra minutes watching Olympic curling instead. Bless you. Torsi, another OG commenter, thank you for commenting, said if you would make a video of your long hair before and after you cut it. I did do that. Obviously, now it's starting to grow out. It's been a couple of months since I cut it, but it's getting there. Any travel videos in the car? Do you have a manual or automatic car? Any video is a treat for us all subscribers. Yay! Be well and drive safe. So my car is a petrol. It's a non-automatic. You don't. Automatic cars are slightly harder to come by in England, in my experience, especially as someone who doesn't want to spend too much money. So my car is a non-automatic petrol. It's a Citroen C1. It's a little red Citroen C1, and it's really cute. And I'm getting used to it. And yeah, I'm getting there. I will at some point do an outdoor video where I show you guys my car, and I will do additional stuff. But I'm trying, and dang well am I trying that I've done how long is this video so far? Over 2 hours of live stream. So yay. Torsi I've already said that one. That's the drive safe. I will do a vlog in my car at some point. I'd like to do some more additional stuff. Thank you for being subscribed. Tours Time said, just make videos when you have time in declaration content. Plus, you need free time to plan RDD years, ulterior motives, blah, ha, 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 ha. Yes, that's another thing that I really do need to sort out. Canada, home game. We need to do this because you guys are an amazing players, and I want to get you to the point. Like, so much of my campaign has changed from my original draft because of the current players who are in your world doing your campaign. I'm really interested to see how you guys respond to the same situations, and I'm really interested to see the different ways the universe plays around your characters, because that's exciting. Eric Dye says, another OG commenter, hello Eric, says, I did my daily blogging on my website, but Def felt like a bit burned out once it hit February. It's tough, and I even had some easy content outlets. It's a great exercise though, and it has absolutely made me ramp up my general content creation over last year. Hope you find a nice balance and enjoy your little break. Thank you. I did enjoy my break, and I feel like my balance coming back is I'm just gonna do stuff. Hey, I'm doing stuff. Check out YouTube. I'm doing stuff. Hey, look, it's a 2 hour long live video. Hey. Nathan Lars says, it's okay, Jenny. You knew you wouldn't be able to keep updating vlogging forever. We're still here for you, whatever you decide to show up. Thank you for being here. And thank you for watching.